Hello everyone, welcome to the second installment of this lichess puzzle streak. Today we're going to try to solve some intermediate level puzzle and see how far we can go. Hopefully we can reach 30, but that's really not a given, we'll have to wait and see. So what do we have here? White to play. Starting with checks, captures and threats. So checks, no checks. Captures, well, we can take the queen, we can take the bishop. I think the first capture to look at is obviously the queen. So rook takes, what can he do? Of course, he's not going to recapture the rook, that's absurd, that loses immediately. So he's going to capture my queen with check. So far material is equal. We started with equal material, we both exchanged the queen in fact. So what can I do from here? Taking with the king doesn't make sense because I need to defend this square to get the maximum amount of material in the variant. So it has to be knight takes to defend this square. There's a rook here. Okay, now he takes. I take back. And what happened? At the end of the line, we have a bishop, a knight, and a rook. And they have, both of their bishops are gone. They only have two rooks. So we're actually up material for, well, two minus against a rook. We also have to consider the pawns. So pawns are in fact equal in number, and I would say qualitatively I perhaps have a slightly better pawn structure. Notice at the end my knight will be here at the end of the variant and he can play this, and I can't go here because it gets trapped. Just something to consider, but it's okay because I can just retreat the knight at the very least here or here. He doesn't really have any attack. Perhaps knight here will be better. So I think that just wins. Okay, so yeah, actually here there's a bit of a geometry that I noticed. If the king was here, that there would be a fork. Hence this move. But of course another way to look at it is start with checks. So what checks do we have here? He can like block, we don't have any follow-up. Even if takes and knight here, we win a pawn, that's not enough. Plus he can block with the bishop as well, so again we lose material in that case. So really the only check that gives something is this one, because we deflect the king onto a forkable square. Okay, so checks, well, there are no checks. Captures, well, of course, there's capturing the bishop. So the only real question is, can I just win like this and just push my pawn or what? Because that just has to be the first move, I think. I don't see anything else. We can't not take it, because what else would we do? Try to defend and come here, but then he takes this. I mean, that has to be the first move, so I can already play it. But let's just calculate nonetheless. Let's try to make the mental effort of visualization. If I take, if he pushes, I go here. And he doesn't have any threats. Then he needs to take care of my pawn. I can take care of his. He comes here. Honestly, it's far from clear that I'm winning this. But at the same time, I just can't see any other move there. It just has to be. Wait, I don't want to jump to the next puzzle, because my guess is that this wins the puzzle, but the problem is, yeah, he plays this, of course. Ah, yes, that's what I missed. At the end, we have this one. And the point is that even though this is weak, and in theory he can come and pick it up with the king, when he does this, he can't stop this pawn. So this is really the move that you had to see from afar. Which I missed. Well, I found it eventually, but I didn't see it from a distance. Okay, so what if, okay, checks. Rook check, let's start with that. It's the most forcing, and then what? Rook check. I can take this one, and I'm threatening these two. But then he has this one, which is actually mate. Well, yeah, that's actually a problem. This will... Sorry, it's not mate. No. Rook check. King takes is forced. Queen takes. So far, we've just exchanged a pair of rooks. Notice that I start the puzzle down a rook and a bishop, so exchanging material is not going to cut it. And after queen check, king here, okay, at the very least he can come back here and force a repetition. So that can't be the win. Now, what if we just take here? If we take here, the nice thing is we defend this. So when he does that, we don't lose the rook at the end. The problem is we're still down a piece. And he can just come back here. And I think it's a repetition. I'm not seeing like... I think it's still a repetition for him. So takes queen h8, bishop here, and he can just force a repetition like this. Because we have nowhere to go. Of course, these squares are controlled by the bishop and queen. So we have to go back here. And so that's not good enough. But if it's not that, what else would it be? On the other hand, perhaps this puzzle is a repetition. Perhaps the point of the puzzle is to say that you have a completely losing position, you're down material, but you force a draw by repetition, which is a net win, right? If you start with a losing position. So maybe that is the point. You're just supposed to escape with a draw and that's it. And then he goes back here and we force a repetition. Is that it? What else can we do? Because what else? I mean, queen here, yeah, it's check, but takes, and then what? It's absurd. Rook here, it goes nowhere. Takes, okay, no, okay. We have better than a draw. We have better things to do than a draw. I see. Rook here, we force him to take, and here we have this one, forcing this and mate. So it's not a draw, it's actually a win. It's kind of obvious when you see it, but but until you see it, it's not obvious. Right, so what's going on? Material is equal. At least pieces are equal. Pawns. We're down a pawn. But it's not. We're down a pawn. We have a bit of a problem with development here. This knight is misplaced. Checks. So this is no bueno. So no check with the queen. Because he just takes and there's just no follow-up. Oh, simple. Captures. After checks we have captures because it was the only check, queen d4. And this, the problem is, this rook is undefended. So he can't take. Well, he can. Well, he has to take, in fact. But then he loses the rook. And I think it's quite a simple puzzle. Like, where's the catch? What else can he... Can he throw any intermediate moves? No checks. Okay, this is undefended, but he doesn't have a way to exploit it immediately. And even if he did, I mean, he can't be attacking a bishop to save a queen. So I think that's it. There's just nothing else than take and take. Okay, so... do we have any checks? No. So queen h7, no. Knight takes, that's a capture. That's the only check, right? It's the only check, queen h7. Capture. But then what? Then you can exchange bishops. Maybe I win a pawn. And that's very questionable because, yeah, my piece is actually takes, it's very questionable. The very least, there's probably something like this. I don't know. Let's look at threats. This threatens mate in 1. In fact, it's a double threat because I'm also opening bishop takes bishop. So really, it means that if I play this, he has to parry the mate in one. He can't just solve both problems like this, of course, because I take the bishop. However, he can do this, and then there's no more mate and the bishop's defended. But somehow this feels wrong, but... Ah no, it doesn't work. I still take. And there's this one, but it's not mate anymore. This is complicated. Do we have anything else? I mean, attacking the queen, taking this is not going anywhere. If anything, it helps him develop. We don't want that. So I think, and queen takes first. No, that doesn't work. So I think, yeah, knight takes is just a pawn, and I don't think we can get away with it. I think this is the most convincing move, but there is this defense. Still, I want to take, queen takes. I still win a pawn and it's check, and the king goes on f7. I'm not quite seeing the killer blow just... perhaps queen here, because g6 will be met with this. Okay, I think this should be the first move. Well, of course, if he plays that, then it's easy to refuse. But it wasn't the most difficult defense to refute in practice, I would say. So check, that doesn't quite work, because he just takes, and the king comes here, and I can push there. He's got all this. Yes, the king on its own cannot take care of the pawns, but that's not gonna work. So what else do we have? What if we just push? We threaten the knight. We don't actually threaten the promote, we threaten the knight. Where does the knight go? It has to guard this square, correct? So how exactly does that work? Like, where can he go that guards the promote? Or he can defend the knight, but if he defends the knight, I just take it and promote. I think this one, he's completely screwed, because this doesn't work. So this, what's going on? This, my queen's attacked. Okay, this maybe. Now it's interesting. And the king cannot go here or here. King has to go here. And then I take with check. And then the king has to go here, and boom. Wow, this is nice. So let's verify. This, let's make sure it works. So this, actually he can play this already. But in that case we go here. And again he goes here, and boom. So that's even simpler. So he's going to avoid that by going here first, but this is where we trick him. And notice that he cannot take... We could even take with the bishop there. Perhaps it's more precise, I don't know. But let's take with the pawn for a start. He has to go here. We take with the queen. He cannot interpose anything. He has to move, and the only move is this. And this just wins it. And I wonder if pawn takes... Well, we'll see. The first move is obvious. Okay, if he does that, then it's easier, because I have this, this, and this. Okay, I'm just interested to see, for my curiosity, the other variant. So this works, well, they stopped the puzzle here, which is a bit silly. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. I wish Ah no, this is mate. This is mate. I completely missed that this was mate. Wow, I was calculating this queen king here, and you know, this is directly mate, of course, because I'm cutting this rank. Okay. Now the one variant I was interested in was, okay, this. What if this, which looks more resilient, right? And then, well, first of all, there is mate here, which I missed. But secondly, if I do this, what's the difference? It also wins. Everything wins. Yeah, this wins for the same reason. And but the cleanest one is just to take, of course. So let's remove the computer. Okay, 28. Good. We still haven't used our guess, because just so you know, we're allowed one guess per session of puzzle streak. So if we really can't find it, lichess will give you a free move. So what's going on here? We have the black pieces. Material is, what is the material? I think we're down, well, it's not clear. We're down pieces, but we have pawns for them. So on paper, it's equal material. We're down in exchange up 2 pawns. But I want to go after this king. I think the move that strikes me the most is this one, because it completely cuts the squares. The king has only one move. King has to move and has only one move. Ah, yes. And yeah, and then we have a discovery, which wins the queen. Okay. So now what? So we can't play queen g7 mate, of course, because of that pesky rook. So what about other checks? What about this one, using the pin? But then what? He can just move the king here, for example, which is rather annoying. I'm not really seeing the killer blow here. This, I don't believe in this one, because takes, and we get mated. So don't forget, we have a back rank mate. So this rook has a job defending the back rank. If you want to use this rook, you need to make sure that you play a move that deals with it somehow, so that at the end of the variant you don't get mated. So what are the checks? So this one, queen mate here, no. Queen here, it looks stupid. Let's just have a quick look. Queen takes, where's the follow-up? There's no follow-up. A check here leads nowhere. That's it. No. So it's almost like by elimination, the only check is this one, the only check that makes sense. It's just I can't quite see the win there. And captures, well, of course we could just capture this, but the thing is, okay, pieces are equal. He doesn't have an immediate threat, or he can't take the pawn, of course, because I'm gonna play queen takes e6. But it's just, do we have enough? Takes, let's say he takes, I don't know, let's say he takes and I take. Now what? Material is equal. I don't have anything concrete. It's perhaps a draw, I don't know. I'm threatening to infiltrate, but it's easy to block. It's not enough. This is just not convincing. I think this has to be the move, because I just see nothing else. And it was wrong. Interesting. Okay, first of all, why is it wrong? And I think it's probably because of the reason I mentioned after this. There's no follow-up. It's just a draw, basically. Apparently it's a fancy draw with bishop knight d7. Yeah, so white is struggling to equalize. But with perfect play, it's just a draw. So what is the difference? Like, what's the point of this move? This move I was really worried about. I didn't even consider because of the back rank problem. Because, okay, if he does this, then of course. Of course, it forces the king to move, and no matter where he moves... no, now this doesn't work. There's no mate here. So where's the mate? And if knight here, the king cannot move. The only move is this, and then this mate. Wow, okay, this one was difficult. That was a difficult puzzle. Okay, well, there ends the streak at 29 puzzles solved. So that's it.